Hi everyone, and welcome to Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising Spiritual Connection Reading. Welcome. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Services. I am Lauren. And just to start off, first of all, I wanted to let you guys know if you hear music in the background, I apologize. We have some guests over right now. But in addition to that, all content on this channel and on my website as well are here to introduce you to the Triad of Engagement, which is a tool that I have developed that focuses on showing how three very basic principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation that when applied together can help keep you fully engaged and feeling in flow with the unique energetic imprint of your life. Additionally, all content is here to help you start to answer your very own I am question so that you can re-engage with life in a more authentic, meaningful, and emotionally fulfilling way. And if you'd like to learn more about the Triad of Engagement, there are two links to two different videos in the description box below. One is more for visual learners, and one is just me talking, more for conceptual learners. All right, Cancer, let's jump right into your reading. So, this is a spiritual connection reading. What does that mean? That means we're going to be taking a look at yourself over here on this side, your unique spiritual self, which contains all of your abilities, gifts, hopes, dreams, anything very specific to yourself. And then on this side, we're going to take a look at the energy that is sitting in your external environment right now. And we're going to look at the engagement between the two. So Cancer, let's take a look at the energy that you are currently sitting with. Now, I'm going to put it out there. This is the second time I've had to record this video for you guys. The first one, the audio was strange and then it got deleted accidentally. So it wasn't meant to be. So I'm re-recording and we'll take the message that comes out. So we have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is actually a really nice energy. This is an energy of basically having the opportunity to make the decision of kind of where you're going to move forward with in your life. This is a broad overview card of, okay, I have two choices. I have both choices get a chance to enlarge. Sorry guys, I'm still in Mercury retrograde here. Both wands, so to speak, are two decisions, and each one represents a way for your life to go, a vision for your life based off of passion. And what this is denoting is that you're sitting now kind of looking at both, and you're being asked to make a decision as to where to go from here. What would you like your life to look like from this place? So it's a nice energy. Now let's see what is coming up in your external environment. And when I talk about your external environment, I'm talking about everything that is beyond your control, meaning events, change in and of itself, people. But what we're looking at as far as when we're talking about energy, we're looking at why you're being asked to engage right now. What part of yourself are you going to gain more insight into? And in addition to that, what part of yourself now really needs to be engaged with your external environment to be of service and to really fill a need that your external environment is asking you to do? Oh, beautiful. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. And this actually shouldn't have even been in this deck. So it's very interesting that it came out. Again, your guys' reading is kind of all over the place. So very interesting. I'm actually going to get one more card with that because this is supposed to be only major arcana in here. So I'm really curious to see if there is a major arcana that would like to come out with the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is a tangible gift from the divine. This is the start of something new that can grow into something much more. and it can actually portend, you know, kind of almost like fated wealth. But it is the seed. It's the seed that comes from the divine, and you're being asked now to, I think, engage with that. That you've been given a gift, and now what are you going to decide to do with it? But let's see what's an additional energy for Cancer. If nothing comes out, well then nothing comes out. Let's see. I don't even know how that card got in there, because that card did not show up in any of my other readings that I've done today. So I'm not quite sure. Well, I guess nothing else is coming up. So we'll just stick with that. Very interesting, very different reading than the first one that got deleted. So I think this is more of a message you guys really need to hear, which is you're sitting with this energy of being able to kind of see beyond right now, to be able to really build your life in the way that you want. And you've been given a gift, that there's something in your external environment that is truly this gift of this fresh start, and you're being asked to do something with it. So now what I'm going to do is pull some cards for what I call the void. And if you want to learn more about the void, I would recommend clicking on the first visual video linked to learn more about the Triad of Engagement in the description box, because I really talk about that and how the Triad of Engagement can help you bridge the void. So what is the void? The void is a place that holds all of our fears. Oh my goodness, a lot came out here. So I'm going to take these two that fell on the floor, and we're going to put all of this out here. Okay. All right. So the void is basically what we create. It is the barrier that we create between our internal unique selves and our external environment as we move from childhood into adulthood. And it ends up containing all of the fears and anxiety and frustrations that we feel as we attempt to engage our unique self with our external environment. So what ends up happening is, as we go from childhood, where we start to bring out parts of ourselves into the world, we can oftentimes get a negative reaction. And this can be in the form of simply just failing at something. It can be where you are ridiculed for something. It can be where you are told that we don't do it that way. And so we end up hiding these parts of ourselves, and we start to build this void between ourselves and between our authentic selves, and really showing and living that into our external environment. And what ends up happening at a certain point is, if we let this get too out of control, we become completely disengaged on an emotional level with our external environment, because we are not bringing any part of ourself authentically into it. So we are basically just going through the motions, but nothing is connecting directly with us. We lose the element of value in our decision-making and action-taking process. And what the Triad of Engagement is here to do is actually to help you bridge this void, to kind of teach you how to open back up, build a bridge across this, and then how to have the courage to start engaging again with your authentic self, with the external world. So right now, let me let you know what I'm seeing in your void. So again, keeping in mind that this is where fears and anxiety and frustration has accumulated. So usually how I see this is, the first card that comes up is kind of the first layer of this masking that's taken place, of this void that you created. And this is usually kind of the cornerstone to when we tried to do something and we didn't get the response that we wanted, and so we kind of shut ourselves off. And then as we started to do that more and more, then layers and layers and layers on top of that develop. So for you guys, what I'm seeing here with the Four of Pentacles, and just to kind of let you know what these are. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Empress, the Nine of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Eight of Cups. And the Four of Pentacles here is where you've created, so the fours, as I see it in the tarot, are places where we get a chance to pause and reflect. So we've had some growth in whatever area, and pentacles specifically are tangible physical reality, where you've had some growth and you've built something and you've accumulated something. This can be physical wealth, this can be a house, this can just be some type of stability, some type of tangible something in your current environment, and you've built it up, and now you have a chance to kind of pause, reflect, see the foundation that you've built based off of what you have. But where this can be a card where we can be stuck in is that this can also be a card where we're taking stock of what we have and we don't want to lose what we have. And in reality, as most of us have discovered the older we've gotten, is that it always takes money to make money. Well, there's a component to that. Now, this can also represent even not just money, it can represent time. This can represent pretty much anything that impacts us and is of value in our physical reality, and time is one of those things. And so this can even be where we just don't want to put in the time. We don't want to put in the time, and we're just going to sit and kind of cling to what we've accumulated up to this point. And where this can become an issue, a fear point, is where, especially when you're looking to decide to kind of make this grand decision of where does my life go from here, where do I take action, this is where we may want to take action, but we're too afraid of what we've built up to this point, this level of security and stability, we might lose it. And that's what I'm seeing here for you, Cancer, is that at some point in the past, you've made a decision where you went forward with something and you probably lost everything. Or you've been without at certain periods in your life and you saw how perilous that can be. And now that you've built yourself up to a certain level of stability and safety, you don't want to have to experience what you've experienced in the past, which brings up kind of negative memories of when you had less. And then this is directly in competition with the Empress, which is the card that comes right afterwards. So this is where you're basically being held back from stepping fully into who you are, which is the Empress. And the Empress is a card that denotes true feminine creative energy. And I don't mean female, I mean feminine, meaning that you are able to be open and receptive to your environment, process what comes in, and then be able to literally give birth and create what you choose to. So the Empress is in direct competition with the Four of Pentacles in that, or not even competition, but it's a juxtaposition here where in one case you're clinging to what little bit of security and stability you have, and on the other side this is letting you know that you can actually create anything you want for yourself. That you don't have to cling because of the past, whether this was growing up in your family, you guys had a lack of money or a lack of some type of, maybe you had a parent that worked all the time and didn't have time for you, and you know what that feels like. And now you want to cling to what little bit of free time you have. But in reality, you're the Empress. And you're being asked to step into that because you're being given a gift on this side that you're going to have to work with in a tangible form. In order for you to pick up and work with this Ace of Pentacles, you have to release one of these pentacles. So in the traditional tarot, it's actually a man sitting, and he has each pentacle, he has two pentacles under his feet, and he has one pentacle on his head balancing, and then he has 2 pentacles in his hands. And one pentacle in his hand. So all 4 pentacles are basically, he is holding on to them. And in order to take the gift from the external environment that's trying to come in, he has to let go of one of these pentacles. He has to actually let go of what he has and risk not getting it back to take the gift. And this is where the fear comes in of if I give a little, is it worth it? And in reality, this is the illusion. This is the point of fear, because you are the Empress. You can take this and create whatever you want. You are able to give birth. When you think of a woman and she actually gives birth to life, she has created a new human being from almost nothing, when you think about that and how fantastic and wild that is. But this can be on all levels. It doesn't have to be giving birth to a child. This can be building your own business. This can be creating the home life of your dreams. You have the ability to take what you have and then basically manifest almost anything. The way that a woman can take a tiny egg and a tiny sperm that are almost microscopic to the naked eye and create a human, a fully formed human being. And then as we go down here, what I'm seeing is the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is a card of worry. It's a card of the fears that keep us up at night. It's a card of the negative what ifs. And this is combined with the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Cups. And what I'm seeing here is that you are being asked, the Wheel of Fortune's turning for you. And it's interesting because the Wheel of Fortune's come up quite a bit in these readings, meaning that a lot of people, this is very forward-moving energy right now in our external environment. And we're all kind of battling it, or battling how we engage with it in our own way. And for Cancer specifically, what I'm seeing is that there's an element of worry. I think you guys are such an intuitive sign, right? That's your superpower, that you can connect to the intuition that is your connection between yourself and spirit, and be able to have sight when others cannot see. And that's a beautiful thing to have. And so in being intuitive, you feel the wheel is turning. You feel the time is now. But there's a worry about this. There's a worry about letting yourself understand, with the Eight of Cups down here, that you're going to have to walk away from something that right now for you seems stable, but that is actually not bringing you emotional fulfillment. You're sitting in this place of fear to invest, fear to give up time. There's some element in your current experience that you need to release that element of control over, out of fear that you don't realize that you're the Empress. You're the Empress in your own life. You can create what you need. But instead you're worrying, knowing that there is something that's not fulfilling for you right now. That's what the Eight of Cups tells us. Eight of Cups is when we take stock of what we have currently in front of us and we realize it's not emotionally fulfilling. And the hard part about the Eight of Cups is it's a card of recognition of that, to where it's such a deep level that you realize you have to walk away, because you know that there are 2 other cups out there waiting for you that are going to lead to your ultimate emotional fulfillment. But you can't be tied back trying to balance these 8 cups. And these 8 cups, the difficult part here is that oftentimes these 8 cups are what other people in your external environment would look at and say, well, how come you're not emotionally fulfilled by that? You've got everything. You have the good job or the good house or the great significant other in the family life. Like, how can you walk away from that? But if you're not feeling it, And especially Cancer, on an intuitive level, you know there's something that's meant for you to even fulfill you more. And that's where you have to go out in search of it. And in order to do that, you're going to have to give up security, safety, and resources. Think about, in the simplest terms of going out on a journey, well, you're going to have to pack some supplies. You're going to have to take from your storeroom. And then as you go out into the journey, because you don't know where it's going to take you, you're going to have to be okay with leaving some of those things behind. So really what I'm seeing for you guys is there's this element of the time is now. And there's a fear blocking you from realizing that you are the Empress in your life. That you've come as far as you have because you're able to create almost from nothing. But instead of giving yourself that credit, you're sitting clinging to what little bit of safety and security you have because of your past experience around either losing what you've had, or growing up in a family or situation, environment where you've been without, and now what you've built for yourself might seem like it's more than what you've ever had growing up, but it's blocking you from realizing you're being given a gift to interact with in the external world, because you're meant to do so much more. If you think about it, there are 10 pentacles in the cycle. You're only at 4. You can have so much more. The 10 of Pentacles is the ultimate legacy. So you've got a ways to go between 4 and 10, but you're never going to get to 10 if you don't open yourself up to the 5th Pentacle, at the expense of having to actually put down and possibly lose one of these pentacles. So you might have to stay in the same place, but swap out something new for what you already have. And have faith that that's going to end up growing into your 10 of Pentacles. And as the Empress, you very well are capable of that. So this is what the universe is asking you right now, is to get past this block of, I don't want things to change. I just want to hold on to what I have. It's safe, it's secure. Last time it didn't work out, or I've lived my whole life, it's basically the poverty mindset of, I've gotten this far, and if I have to give up something, what's going to happen? And then you're sitting also with this element of realizing, well, if I can create anything for myself, it's darn well going to be emotionally fulfilling for me. And so this is where I kind of feel like you're pondering right now. Like, what do I want to take action towards? What is this decision? Where do I see my life going? And where do I want to start to create? And what might I have to give up? Because it's just no longer fulfilling to me. It's no longer fitting my needs. Okay, so now we're going to pull cards for the Triad of Engagement here, which is going to kind of give us a little bit clearer insight into how to bridge this fear and be able to engage authentically with your external environment. So I'm going to pull a card here for curiosity. Now curiosity, it comes right out. Curiosity is the bridge. This is what we build to re-engage us, to open us up, open our authentic, unique, scared often self back up to to our external environment. And curiosity engages us with the concepts of optimism, openness, receptivity, which often by this point in our lives, when we get, I'd say, into our 20s and 30s and even further down the line, that we start to lose those elements of curiosity. We start to become pessimistic and closed and unreceptive. We start to, instead of filling in the blanks with, what if this awesome thing happens? Or what if I do this and it opens up a new possibility for me? We start to tap into the void of, well, this happened the one time, so that's what's going to happen again. And I'm not going to be curious about trying that dish at the new restaurant because I didn't like the dish at this other restaurant. And I know for a fact that I'm like this, so I'm not even going to attempt to do that. And this is where we start to close ourselves off. We close ourselves off from engaging. We close ourselves off from the positive aspects of engaging with our external environment, and we end up just sitting then with our negative thought pattern. And that colors how we view our external environment. So, for curiosity, we have the 7th chakra, which is Archangel Uriel, number 41. And when we think about this card, so the 7th chakra is your crown chakra. It is the last and highest chakra as you go from your root chakra, the base of the spine, and you go all the way up. This is your direct connection to spirit, to source. And I think what this is asking you to do is to really tap into that connection that only you have, Cancer, as a Cancer, which is you always have the superpower to tap back into your intuition, to ask yourself, to guide yourself. But in asking yourself, you're directly asking spirit, and you're working with that relationship. And it's about being open and curious now to say, okay, spirit, guide me to the decision here and start to show me where I need to release. What area do I need to release? And opening yourself up to what possibly might come in. What is this new, fresh start? What is the seed you're being given? Aren't you curious about how it could be a part of your legacy? Aren't you curious about how by adding this to what you already have, you can actually grow something that's never existed before? So that's what this card for curiosity is asking you to do, to tap back into your connection with spirit, to start to feel, okay, what are you asking of me? What are you giving me? And now I'm going to pull a card for courage. So courage is the seat of our personal power. This is where we've built the bridge for curiosity, but now we have to have the courage to walk across it, because it's not enough to just be on your side of the void and start to say, well, okay, what if this happens? What if there is a positive outcome? What if? This is where we can get trapped in the illusion of fantasy. And we never actually take courage, the courageous action, step forward and do what needs to be done. We fantasize and say, well, what if I got that winning lotto ticket? What if I got this gift that's going to unlock, further abundance for myself? But if you don't actually go out to engage with it, well, nothing's going to change. So, 2 cards, just like that. So, in knowing that this is the seat of where you get a chance to courageously decide to take action on your own behalf to bring your unique self into connection with your external environment, we have 2 cards here. We have surrender your desire to control people. And it says being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. And then we have surrender to trust. It says trust yourself in your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. And I think this is beautiful. Now, this may trigger some of you. Surrender your desire to control people, but in reality, all people outside of ourselves are part of our external environment. And everything in our external environment, including people, are beyond our control. We can have the illusion that we can control, but in reality, we can't. We cannot control how somebody else will choose in any given moment to act, nor is it our place to do so. Our seat of power comes by controlling how we act and how we respond and where we choose to take action. And here what this is showing me is that you have to have the courage that it's going to take to cross this bridge, is the courage to come back to your own power, come back to your own intuition, to trust that you are the Empress, and to understand that you don't have to live from this place of fear anymore about clinging to what you have. That you can trust that right now you're being asked to come out and engage and follow your path for a reason. And you don't have to. What happens when we try to control other people is often we get tied up in their view of us. We get tied up in, well, when maybe you're talking, maybe you've brought up to somebody, well, I'm thinking about investing in this. And somebody says, oh, you'd be crazy to invest in that. Why would you do that? No, don't invest in that. And you get afraid again. Oh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe they're right. Other people have lost money. I've seen that. Yeah, I'm going to stay fearful of investing. Or this is where you talk about wanting to start your own business, and somebody comes in and says, you go to your mom and you're like, Mom, I'm going to start my own business. I'm so excited. And she's like, you're going to start your own business doing that? I think, you're pretty good in your job. Why would you leave your job? Your job's your stability. Why would you do that? And this is where you have to trust yourself and realize that you can't, it's that as you move across this bridge, it's not about controlling the reactions of other people in your life. It's not about getting your mom to get on board with you leaving your 9-to-5 job to start your own business. It's not on you to convince that random person at work that investing in Bitcoin is good. If they're going to keep seeing you as crazy, well, let them see you as crazy. But when you surrender your desire to control people, that's when you can come back and really tap in and really be curious about what source is trying to get you to do. Not in relation to what other people want you to do, but in relation to your connection directly to spirit. And to understand that right now, whatever you're fearing, whatever you're worried about, the doubts that keep you up at night, that are preventing you from taking the new opportunity that's being presented to you, that you need to come back and trust yourself. Because you're on the right path, and that's the confidence needed to continue to take action. Only you can see the vision of the world that you want to create for yourself. And that's why it is my belief that we are each our own singularity. Because no two people can see out of the same set of eyes, so to speak. You have your perspective that is unique to you. And you right now can see a life that you can touch, that you can create. But it's going to involve having to make a choice and start to move one way or the other. So it's time to trust that your connection, your superpower is leading you in the right direction, and to cross this bridge and to take advantage of this new opportunity that's coming into play here. Okay. So Cancer, now we're going to choose a card for contemplation. And contemplation is your ticket back across the bridge. So curiosity is building the bridge. Courage is taking you across. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. And now contemplation is what brings you back to yourself, to where you get a chance to come back to yourself to say, okay, I took action. I was curious and open. I engaged with my external environment. And how did that affect me? What were the consequences? And now how can I utilize those to continue to unlock and grow parts of myself, and to here specifically grow and continue to nurture this new opportunity? Contemplation focuses on reflection, integration. It's actually the seat of self-education, where we get to learn from our direct experience with the external world. For me, it's the most meaningful place of education, because it's where it's specific to us. It's where we get to see, how did this directly affect me? Not well, other people see this as the consequence of this action. It's like, no, what is your consequence? What happened when you did it? And how did it make you feel? It's so funny how, I feel like these cards came up for you in another reading too. So we have Lemuria, creating heaven on earth, it's happening, and trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And it's so beautiful because it's coming right back to surrender to trust. Trust your path. Trust that you're on it. And this whole creating heaven on earth that's happening, this is really in contemplation, coming back to reflecting on, okay, you can see your vision of the world, your ideal vision of the world. Now, how can you start to take action towards that? No, you can't control your external environment. You can't tell people that your vision of the world is the correct vision of the world. You have to just start creating it for yourself. You know, I like to say often that one man's heaven is another man's hell. And that's the truth for all of us. So we are, as each individual beings, we each have our own unique needs, desires, wants, dreams. And no two people have the same outlook. So you can't force your idea on the world. Instead, you have to create it from the inside out. And I think this is the opportunity that you've been given over here, is there's this gift from the divine. And again, this card came out like a gift from the divine. It's beautiful in that, no, you don't have any major arcana here except for the Empress and the Wheel of Fortune, which are the two amazing cards of growth and expansion and abundance. But it's showing me here that there's an element of your destiny is in your hands right now. There's a malleability to your energy that I haven't seen with the other signs. And I think that's actually why your first reading just got deleted and had issues, because it's almost like things are changing for you as we speak, because it's being built off of your vision. And it's like as your vision changes, the things in your reality are reorganizing themselves. So this is really kind of a week of understanding, not even a week, this is a time, because these are timeless readings, but this is a time where you are getting a chance to tap into your own power, to create, to even ask yourself, well, what does my version of heaven look like? And if I'm to trust my path, what path do I want to take towards what? Where do I go from here? And it might not, what you are working towards might not even exist currently. It might not have ever existed. And this is where you have to just get rid of your desire to control people, because people are people. I think my mom has one of the most beautifully direct ways of summing up people being different, is that people will do ultimately what they want to do. You can try to persuade and push people and all of this. And in reality, at the end of the day, we're each our own person and we're going to do what we want. And that's where we have to just release that element of trying to control, because it's on you to build your vision, to go on your journey and to build your vision. And so it's about having faith that you can release this need, this fear around security and control, and be able to accept this new gift in the tangible world from the divine, and grow it into whatever you want to grow it. Okay, Cancer, I'm going to go ahead and pull some clarifying cards for both your energy and your external energy. So I'm going to pull these a little bit closer here. All right, let's see what Seven of Cups. Let's see if anything else wants to come out. The Ten of Swords, okay. And then let's see what's coming out here for the Ace of Pentacles. Anything else for the Ace of Pentacles? And the Three of Wands. Okay, great. Okay, so Cancer, what I'm seeing here with the Seven of Cups and the Ten of Swords, Seven of Cups is a card of options. It can also be a card of the illusion of options, but it's basically options of things that could possibly bring you emotional fulfillment. But you're not quite sure which one is which. You're not quite sure which cup is going to be the right choice. Now, this can be a fun card in that this is a card of being open to opportunity, of having a wealth of possibilities held up to us, and we can get a chance to try each one. Where it can become a negative element is where we are so worried about, well, what if I choose the wrong cup? What if it's not as fulfilling as I thought? What if this cup is fulfilling or that cup's? It's kind of the grass is greener card. And I think combined with the Ten of Swords, which is literally being at your lowest point, this is that place where it's overkill. It's where you can't possibly get any lower. You've been stabbed in the back 10 times and there's nowhere to go but up from here. And I think what I'm seeing here, Cancer, is that at some point you've experienced the Ten of Swords. And that's where on a mental level you keep yourself tied back to trying to keep stability in the tangible world because you know what it feels like to be at your lowest point. So you've gotten some type of stability here, but what you haven't healed is your emotional connection to everything. Because the Seven of Cups is an illusion. The illusion is that we always hold our own cup in our own hands, and it's filled continuously by the divine. We each have a cup that runneth over, but sometimes we lose sight of that. We lose sight of what actually fills our cup. And we think it's empty, or we think that somebody else has to fill it, or we think that something external to us can fill it. And in reality, that's not the case. The cup is filled from within ourselves. So that's where the illusion comes from, that something external to us is going to be our cup, when in reality, we hold our cup at all times. And so that's what I'm seeing with the Eight of Cups, is that you're sitting here, I think, afraid to take action because you're wondering, am I taking action towards the right thing? Is it going to be emotionally fulfilling for me? And if I'm going to be walking away from something that's not emotionally fulfilling, well, I better be darn sure that I know what is. And in reality, this is all an illusion. You've been at your lowest point, and you've seen how strong you can be coming up from that strength. But what's going to help clarify and move past this kind of card of illusion and doubt and worry is knowing what your vision of heaven is like. What is your ideal world? What is the ideal job that you would have? What is the ideal family life that you would have? What is your ideal? The only ideal that you can see and create for yourself. And know that you hold that is what is going to fill your cup. Because again, only you can view that for yourself, not somebody else. We're not asking others to. This is a time where you don't ask advice from others. This is a time where possibly even, I would say, don't share. You're being asked to really connect with spirit, to tap into your own intuition, to tap into what feels good for you, not to get external validation or external information. So this is really that time of reflect on what your ultimate version of heaven would look like, and make it manifest here on earth. Because over here, we have Six of Cups and Three of Wands. And together, this is showing me that something's about to come in from the past. That there is something, the Six of Cups is can be a card of nostalgia, but it can also be a card of emotional connection to yourself, your original self, something in your childhood perhaps, or something kind of long gone, but that you were emotionally connected to. And combined with the Three of Wands, which is a card really of your ships coming in, there's this element of the energy is coming towards you and bringing something that is going to remind you of an emotional connection to something in your past. And that this is what this Ace of Pentacles, this new gift from the external world, is getting you to tap into, that you're getting an opportunity this is a second chance. This is a second chance at something. And the second chance is a gift. A gift. A gift that might have been passed up previously. A gift that you weren't able to act on. A chance at something to do again. It's coming back around. And you have to trust that this time it's going to work out correctly. This time you can release your element of control because it's all being set up for you to take full advantage of this. This is your legacy. This is the first step in your seed to grow into the 10 cups. But what do you want that to look like? What is your legacy? What is your heaven on earth? You have to get clear on that. Because again, kind of what I'm saying, there's this Wheel of Fortune energy of the time is now. You're in this heightened manifestation energy of you can basically create for yourself what you want. And with this gift coming back in, you get this beautiful second chance to do something right this time. Or something that's right for you. And even if you have to admit that what you've built up into this point is not fulfilling, well, what is? That's okay. We can get to a point where we get to the Eight of Cups and realize this doesn't work for me anymore. That's called growth. That's emotional growth. And to be able to admit that to ourselves and have the strength then to realize what now does fill our cup, and to have the courage to move towards the 9th and the 10th cup and know that our heart's desire is truly out there if we just trust and walk towards the vision of our future selves that we know we want and can be, well then that's what's going to bring in for you specifically what you really want. A chance at something that you've always wanted. A chance that's going to make you have this intense emotional connection to something of value to yourself. I can see why the first reading didn't work out, because man, this is such a different reading and such a far more powerful reading. There's really something coming in for you guys to take advantage of. And it's a gift. And you're being told to trust. This might kind of come out of the blue. You might be sitting here kind of like counting your coins, so to speak, and all of a sudden something comes out of the blue, and that's where this whole that kind of shakes everything up of like, ooh, wait, but I really want that. but I know I have to face this fear, and to get over this block, to narrow the void, you have to surrender to trust. Trust. Creating heaven on earth, it's happening. What are you creating for yourself? What's your vision? This is a time for you to get back to you. Again, not a time to get external validation from other people. This is a time of what do you want? And you're being given the gift of the divine to say, go out and do it because you'll be supported. All right, Cancer, I hope this has been a good reading for you. I'm glad I got a chance to redo it. And I hope the message that's coming through is empowering you to take advantage of what Spirit is asking you to bring out and work with in this. There's a reason why you're getting a second chance at something, because it's what you're meant to do. It's the role you're meant to step into. It's the version of reality that you're meant to fulfill in the greater collective. Now, for anybody who would like to book a personal reading, or a private spiritual coaching session, the link to my website is in the description box below. But I hope all of you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope that you'll join me again for your next reading. All right, bye, Cancer.